What's up everyone? Welcome once again to the channel. It's your boy Louis Portelles and coucou les amis, bienvenue à la chaîne. Je m'appelle Louis Portelles et aujourd'hui we are reviewing Miss Cameroon 2025 and I am so excited because if you guys have been following me on my Facebook page, you know that I promised you guys that I was going to do a little bit of a recap of this entire show. Je vous avais promis et moi j'ai une parole, donc je tiens vraiment à vous présenter cette vidéo dont je parle de la soirée finale de Miss Cameroon 2025. So, I'm gonna try to stick to English for this particular video because of course, we want to reach as many people as possible. We want to reach a general global audience, but I do speak French, so for certain parts of this video, I might tell you guys a couple of things in French if I have a couple of comments very specific to the Cameroon audience, or for the Q&A, I will be your translator so you guys can access all the substance of this particular video. Now, I'm gonna break it down to you. Basically, what I did here is a full performance analysis. So we have our new Miss Cameroon 2025, and I'm gonna be reviewing her entire performance from the opening number up until the very last moment of the crowning moment of the night. So as usual, I'll share with you guys my comments, feedback, thoughts, pros and cons, whatever it is. And the only thing that I'm gonna request from you guys is that if you enjoyed this, go ahead and drop a like, subscribe, and comment down below. You can be part of the conversation as well. So, si vous êtes là et vous aimez cette vidéo, s'il vous plaît, on laisse un like. Vous pouvez commenter en dessous. Et s'il vous plaît, vous abonner à la chaîne aussi parce que ça aide énormément. OK? Donc, I'm going to go ahead and play the video and we can get into the analysis of Miss Cameroon 2025. Here we go. I'll just increase the audio.
Josiane Golonga, candidate numéro 11 pour la région de l'extrême nord.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop right here. I mean, honestly, it's just a couple of seconds, but it's enough for me to give you some of my first impressions. I'm gonna talk about her, but I'm also gonna talk about the opening number, which I thought, I mean, it was beautifully choreographed. The girls looked very nice. I feel like the energy in the room was vibrant. You could feel that people were excited to be there. And honestly, that's one thing that I found that I got to know about the Cameroon fans, because people in the audience, they were loud. They brought their tambour, they brought, you know, like different ways just to make noise and support their candidate. There was like an advertisement about this on the Miss Cameroon page, and initially I didn't get it. They said like, don't bring any cooking pots. And I thought, why is it? You guys want to avoid having a cooking show? But no, it's because they don't want people to make noise. So after watching this, I completely understood the reason why. But anyways, going back to the girls, I was saying, I love the, you know, initial entrance, the way that everything was choreographed. It was pretty organized. The girls look great, but to be honest, I'm not so much of a fan of the hat. I think that it depends of the angle and how you look at it. Sometimes it can hide the girl's face a little bit, or, you know, interfere with the hair and whatnot. So it wasn't necessarily my cup of tea, although I can appreciate the fact that they took a risk. We rarely see this type of like outfits and hats for the opening number. So I think that Miss Cameroon as an organization was trying to think outside of the box and give us something different. So I can most definitely appreciate that. Alors, j'ai pas trop le chapeau, mais pour le reste, ça va, j'ai pas de soucis. Je pense qu'ils ont fait un bel effort. OK, donc on continue. Let's keep going. Joli, hein? OK, donc on retourne en arrière encore une fois. Personnellement, j'ai adoré cette partie-là. I honestly loved this particular segment where we got to see them in that. Le passage en tenue de ville basically is like they are walking in typical clothes, something that they will wear on the everyday life around the city. And I thought this was a brilliant segment simply because it allows us to see the girls. You know, in pageantry, everyone is like overly produced and the makeup and the hair and everything is super extra. But that's not necessarily how the girls look on a daily basis. So I thought it was very interesting that we get to see them on, you know, like the regular clothes, still beautiful clothes, but it just gives us more of a personal approach to the competition. So personally, really, really, really loved this performance. So up until this point, this is of course the first time that I get to see her actually like performing on stage, kind of modeling in a way because they're presenting the garments. I thought the energy during the introduction was great, and I thought the look and just the presence here for this particular segment of the Passage en tenue de ville, it was amazing. So let's keep watching until the end, and you guys, I will tell you my overall opinion about the new winner at the end of the video. So keep watching, okay? Don't give up on me now. So let's go ahead. As you can see, like she has that little bit of sass, you know, when she walks. It's like you can feel the joy. She's enjoying the performance, and I really appreciate that. Look at that smile. Smile, bounce with the hips. Great. Okay, so this particular segment, right before the selection of the top 12, there was like a swimsuit performance for everyone. I was looking for her in this crowd, and I know in which batch she was, but the moment that she performed, the camera didn't really focus on her, so I couldn't get any footage of that particular time. Instead, I put this segment where she was called into the top 12. So she was moving on to the next round. And again, I just wanted to compliment here. I'll focus a little bit more on the physical condition. She looks great. Clearly, she knows how to pose. She has been doing the homework with the beauty queen techniques. I can see it with the hands in the hips. I can see it even with the positioning of the fingers. Look at how she is placing the fingers. It tells me that this girl is pageant trained. She knows what she's doing. Okay, so I won't extend too much for this part because honestly, it's kind of just her being called in the top 12. But don't worry, there is a swimsuit round later on. Obviously, the people in the audience rooting for her. And this is the swimsuit round I told you guys about. Great. Okay, so once again, you know what? I'll go ahead and I'll compliment the Miss Cameroon organization and the production team because you know they're giving us a variety. They're thinking outside of the box in terms of how they can showcase the girls under different lights. So an example of that was calling them into the top 12 with the green swimsuit, and now for the next round they have le maillot de bain, which is also kind of like swimwear, but this is not your typical like swimwear that you would have at the beach. It's kind of like bedazzled a little bit. There's some sequins, there's some sparkle. So they're really trying to give us a show where we can see the girls under more produced numbers, and also when we can see them under more of a everyday type of light. We can say more produced, maybe the opening number, this particular round, very produced. More everyday, we had the Les Vêtements de Ville, and then we had the previous swimsuit round. It was more like a green, more of a simple swimsuit. So I think we can get, you know, a healthy balance. Just see them on the different rounds, right? So let's keep going. I like how she can give us a variety in terms of the facial expressions. Look at her when she starts. She is smiling. Going on, she becomes a little bit serious. She poses. The smile is back. Look at the hands. The technique is right there. Honestly, I do feel like performance-wise for the swimsuit round, this is a little bit much for Miss Universe. But let's not forget, she's not competing at Miss Universe yet. She is at Miss Universe Cameroon. So if this is how they like the shows in the country, you know, up-tempo, fun, playful, then it's completely appropriate. And based on what I saw in the other delegates, it seems to be the case. So what I really care about is that from a technical point of view, she delivered a great performance. Okay, so let's resume. Let's keep watching. J'espère que vous aimez jusqu'à maintenant. Hein? Si vous avez des questions, vous laissez dans les commentaires. All right. Okay, le passage en robe de soirée. I really love this color. J'adore la couleur. Déjà là, c'est très bien. Ok. I like that she takes the time to really enjoy the moment before she starts walking and turning and whatnot. You know, she's really taking the time. And you can hear the people cheering in the audience. This feels very royal, very grand, not as in the competition, but like very grand, as in it's very majestic. Okay, so now that she's heading out, I will go back a little bit so I can share my opinion with you guys. Je vais vous dire mes commentaires maintenant. OK, franchement, je pense qu'elle a bien porté la robe parce que, on va se le dire, on va pas se le cacher, it's a really big, evening gown in the sense that you have the dress that she's wearing, but then she also is carrying this cape, which is very big, very large. And I like the fact that she was able to play with it. You can see here when she's walking, she's moving the arms in ways that it's just playing with the wind, adding some movement, making it dynamic. It's fun to watch. And it's not like a stiff performance. Same thing with the facial expressions. I think that it was great. She took her final pose once again. The pose is perfect. I can tell that she is pageant trained. She turns and then she goes back. If I had it my way, if things were perfect, ideal, as I would love, this cape would have been detachable, and I would have loved for her to drop the cape at some point and just showcase the gown, which once again it seems to be like a fitted gown, so it would also allow us to see the physique and how the gown complements her body. So that's if I had it my way, if I could selfishly, give my input. But I can tell that this piece cannot be detached. I mean, you can clearly see it here is sewn on the neck, so there's no way to remove it, right? So it's okay. I won't be too demanding. She looks beautiful and she carried it well, so that's the most important thing. Okay, so let's move on to the next round, which I believe is the Q&A. Okay.
Miss Extrême Nord.
Okay.
Selon le rapport de 2023 de l'Institut national de la statistique, 56,3% des femmes au Cameroun sont soit sous-employées, soit au chômage. Mesdames et messieurs, le constat est alarmant. Le Cameroun regorge des femmes talentueuses, pleines de potentiel, mais souvent freinées par l'absence d'opportunités concrètes. C'est pourquoi, à travers mon association Golonga Women Empowerment and Care, j'ai choisi de porter un projet fort, celui du renforcement des capacités en entrepreneuriat et de recherche de financement pour le personnel des centres sociaux ménagers. Ce sont bien que dans de nombreuses localités manquent souvent de moyens de formation moderne et d'accompagnement stratégique. C'est pourquoi mon projet apportera des solutions à ce problème en 4 axes principaux, à savoir former les femmes au leadership, à l'entrepreneuriat et à l'innovation artisanale, les connecter aux sources de financement et enfin former 50 personnels des centres sociaux ménagers au marketing digital et au montage de projets bancables. I dream of a Cameroon where every woman, even in rural areas, can dream, finance herself and undertake business with confidence. Miss Cameroon is not just a crown for me, it's a mission to impact, uplift and empower women. Ladies and gentlemen, honorable members of the jury, I am Harangada Josiane, Miss Partner 2025. I'm candidate number 11. Thank you.
Hey! That was such a mic drop. Franchement, elle a tellement bien fait ça. J'ai trop aimé son discours. Okay, so I don't think this is like a traditional like Q&A where they give you a question and you just answer. I think it feels more like a speech round. C'est plutôt comme un discours plutôt que juste une réponse à une question. Elle expose vraiment tout ce qu'elle a fait jusqu'à maintenant à travers son projet, son organisme, son organisation. Et en fait, comment elle essaye de faire un changement qui a un impact chez les femmes du Cameroun, n'est-ce pas? Donc, elle parle un peu du pourcentage, plus de 5 à 6% des femmes qui ont de la misère à trouver de l'emploi ou qui sont dans le chômage. Et là, à travers de son organisation, elle essaie non seulement de leur donner des outils tels que l'éducation et aussi leur donner des ressources, les aider avec le networking. Est-ce qu'on dit networking en français? Le réseautage, en fait. Donc, franchement, c'était parfait du début à la fin. Pas de souci. I think also that basically the most important thing is that her delivery is impeccable. I mean, there was no moment of hesitation. There was no moment where you feel like she was losing it or whatever. And I actually really like the fact that she was able to laugh, to have fun with it while she was delivering it, because it shows that she's comfortable with what she's talking about. You know, usually girls get very tense and they get very nervous and they feel pressured because it's a nerve-wracking moment. I mean, you are in front of the other delegates, quite literally the competition. There's a set of judges, there's the audience, and there is quite literally the first lady of Cameroon in front of you. So the fact that she's able to deliver it so flawlessly, chef's kiss. I don't have any criticism when it comes to the Q&A round or the statement round per se. So let's just move on to the last part, which is, of course, the crowning moment.
Thank
Here we
you.
go.
Josiane.
Et voilà, les amis. Donc, allez, je vais vous poser quelques questions là. Parce que comme on voit ici, elle a été couronnée par la première dame du pays. Donc, c'est un grand honneur. Mais en même temps, c'est pas nécessairement la tradition dans le monde des concours. Donc, est-ce que c'est comme ça tout le temps au Cameroun? Est-ce que c'est la première dame ou une figure importante du gouvernement qui place la couronne, ou c'est juste cette fois-ci? So, vous allez me le dire dans les commentaires. You know, to wrap it up, I was just talking about the first lady of the country crowning her instead of the queen that is passing the title. But a thing that is also interesting to me is that, I mean, she is getting her crown from the first lady, but we can see in the background, if you look at the back, the former queen still keeps her crown. So that's maybe one of the reasons why, and it's a very interesting approach as well. I wanted to share with you guys overall my opinion about her as a delegate, especially going to Miss Universe now. And honestly, I'm very happy with her performance all throughout the night. I'm very happy with the national pageant. There are a lot of different elements that are different from what I'm used to in pageantry, especially, you know, in countries such as the Philippines, where I am currently based, or in Canada, where I come from, or even, you know, Miss Universe Cuba, which recently just started. What I notice is like every country, every culture holds their pageants differently, but there is beauty in every single approach. And there's a couple of things in this particular show that I really like, such as the La Tenue de Ville, the opening number, where they were willing to go outside of the box and not just go with the traditional, you know, like little dresses and whatnot, but they're actually going with the whole, like, you know, number and the hats. So there's beauty all throughout the show. In terms of her beauty, I think, honestly, one of the most beautiful African delegates up until this point, because there's a lot of them who have not been crowned just yet, and not just African delegates, but one of the most beautiful delegates, period. I saw a lot of comparisons of her to our reigning Miss Universe Africa, to Chichi from Nigeria. And honestly, I have to agree. I think that the girl has such beauty that, you know, it can be easily compared to Chichi in a very positive way, of course. Not everyone likes comparisons, but I think in this case, it's more of a compliment. What else I wanted to say? I took the time to review her Instagram, some of her social media, and I will also say that I love how versatile she is in terms of her looks, her wardrobe. She can pull like professional attire, fashion forward attire, pageant attire, the flexibility with the hair as well. She looks great in different styles, in different colors. In, you know, I have nothing but compliments for her up until now. So I guess that's pretty much it when it comes to my review of Miss Cameroon 2025. J'espère que vous avez bien aimé mes commentaires. Si vous avez des questions ou des soucis ou des choses que vous aimeriez que j'explique un petit peu plus, vous allez me laisser savoir dans les commentaires en bas. N'oubliez pas de laisser un j'aime dans cette vidéo et de vous abonner, s'il vous plaît. S'il vous plaît, ça aide beaucoup avec la chaîne. Thank you guys for watching. You know the drill. like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye now. Thank you for being here. Bye.